Urban Network Analysis in Healthcare GEL Design South America 2017 Strategic Planning for Alternative Futures. New possibilities to study the cities and its problems. This cases started animated to demonstrate the potential of territorial on health investigations constraints of greater or less disasters to health centers and in a newborn context of living it aims to enrich the debates in the direction of Alps in Brazil. Our start point is the concept adopted in Backhand Health Centre building in London. It was considered that such a kind of century should spread the sense of health more than the idea of disease treatments. Thus it was built located in a specific working class neighbourhood which used the building to socialise while prevent health problems. The health centers were distributed, considering some areas inside the sanitary districts. There are 147 urban houses to cover out the country of Belarus. Ranchi, considering the concept of proximity and socialization previously presented. This case is a mind the pedestrian access to the health centers in the limits established previously by the central systems of our health of Brazil. So we use arches and ArcMap 2 named the Urban Network Analysis that considered a model of one network of streets represent its flattest corners and the connection streets. The first thing was calculation, the declivity of the territory and migrating that data switch of the approximately 6,000 segments of the streets. After we used the resource of modeling the calculation of the declivated meaning of the street segments using 3 points, that means the begin, midpoint and end, so the data of the slope from which street was joined to the segments. To see more in the tape, pause the video. Once create that data, it was transferred to streets. Considering we were focusing on the pedestrian movement, we used both stable, which indicated the velocity of pedestrian accordingly to the declivity. The next step was create a network data set considering the direction of the streets in order to compare the Jesus in a calculation for vehicles. Summarize this procedure showing how the software can identify one-way streets notation accordingly to digitation from the initial points to the final point of the segment of the street. Applause. Evaluators inform software about the rules and the values to consider in the calculation. In our case, we needed to create expressions to find the impedance value to each street segment. The model to calculate impedance to vehicles are described in the two scripts showed. Pausing the video in order to clarify. Despite suggesting the use of a specific column to identify 1 or 8 segments in arches, we use the maps from opposite maps, which are already notated with information about one way. So the pedestrian impedance was sourced using the relations between velocity and this look of the pavements. Pause the video to grasp better. The results were stood into ways isochronic areas of the rich of the health century by the pedestrian in 5, 10 and 15 minutes, which is broadly used as a measure of walking distance in order where the results point out that the area covered by walking 13 minutes. In both cases we can see that there are a lack of continuity in the walking distance and the neighborhood cannot access the corresponding centers while walking from the house. It indicates that the initial concept mentioned it is far from to be rich in such a urban configuration. Another view of the results where the time of ambulance is reached the centers. In this way only few ways with no dwellers were representing white, whereas the limit of 15 minutes covered the rest of the territory. Just to test the model once more, one fragile of the county was a study representing the Euclidean distance of each house to the centers. It endures a serious problems of access to health because some areas in yellow are left without the pedestrian access to the centers. This is studying why its other considerations and transdisciplinary discussions in order to create information to guide their demonstration of the city health system.